feel like God, I'm a hokayge. Whoa, busting my ass in the off days. Whoa, me, I've been working, I grind from the ground, and now you see my drip is so hokayge. Hokayge. No tell bitch, just style, man. Never have breaks, no off days. Bitch, my drip, ho. Look, boy, I'm a legend, but found my presence, don't touch me, I'm ready, my drip like hokayge. See you and I, we both had nothing, and I move like a cat. Let's go, let's go. From the unknown, said I got so that I'm with it. I got so not to the boss, I kill them, we all got doors, tell them with the work ain't come, with the work ain't came up with a butter, no. What the fuck, hey? That's not the way it's gonna show on my pen when I like a satellite, we can get a grabber right there for the team, we can run up the fade. Start out a young leg, one day flex with the team, they know what I say. And when I'm showing up, knowing this code is guaranteed, I'ma go fuck up the game. Hokayge, running for the bottom to the top place, down love, legend for the bitches in my way, now they cosplay, my name's a white camera, treated like Yahweh. Y'all waiting for the Messiah with the God play. Y'all better stop, y'all better watch. Came through flooded, come my drip, hokayge,
Welcome back to another video with another banger. Bro, it is not what if Naruto was as strong as the first Hokage. Part 4. Let's go with the chain. We're right now I'm pretty sure we have 3 subscribers. Give me the 5 subscribers and give me 5 subscribers and I'll start playing I'll do a little bit. I'll make a different storyline, maybe a little less OP though, make a little more sense. I'm about to start writing that new storyline as soon as possible because I know we're gonna hit that 5 subscriber mark, and then we're gonna have a whole. Oh no, I'm gonna have to write it because this one, you don't know my pain. I've been writing this off my head when I talk. That's why I be stuttering sometimes, bro. Don't play with me. I'm kidding, bro. But let's get in it. The Thundercloud Village. Naruto has won the whole war by himself, known as the EMS God. He is the strongest of them all. Right now, he will destroy them all in a breeze. I wonder, what if Naruto says, what if I can defeat them all? And Naruto actually thinks about doing it, using his final jutsu. Thinking about doing it, using Kurama mode for the rest. He never thinks about doing a Baron mode though. He said he never wants to use that because he knows Kurama will die if he uses it. And Kurama's his best friend. One of the people he talks to a lot when he has nobody else to talk to. Then that's why he talks with Kurama even when he's asleep sometimes. He talks to Kurama. But he talks to the teachers too. The teachers are very strong. Hold up. Then he says that Naruto, everybody tells that Thundercloud Villages is thriving with over a population of 5,500,000 shinobi. They are one of the strongest nations, or the strongest nation ever, which when they're assigned the Thunder Kage has so the Thunder Kage that Naruto chooses must be stronger than Naruto himself at his full power. Naruto said himself, they're not. It's not gonna be any fun, is it? Then he goes, defeats Many-Tailed Beast. He is Naruto Uzumaki, the ENS god. Naruto is praised in all villages. In the 5 Kage tournament, they signed to an alliance where all villages are in safety. We will do a time skip in 4 years where it starts getting juicy. Time skip, 4 years. The Koski or 9, I think. Naruto, a 17-year-old Thunder Kage. Naruto thinks about it. And says Naruto has a girlfriend named Hinata Hyuga. He loves her with all his heart. As the Thunder Kage, he says, he tells everybody that the tuning event will be hosted in his village. And the shinobi who are ready. Which were a lot. And all the sunning. Tsunade's always been a part of it. Thunder Kage. Because he was a kid. Naruto couldn't go for that. Thank you for believing in me. And nobody else could. And then Tsunade said, as long as I live in this village at Naruto, have a free gambling card where I can gamble forever and not have to worry about nothing. So then Naruto agreed and gave her a card that had over $3 billion because he created his own, had so much money in his currency. Then Tsunade agreed, and then Jiraiya said, it's okay. The Koski are making a move. Naruto. They're starting to collect. They haven't collected any tail beasts yet, but they're starting to. They just went after the 3-tailed beast. And we recommend to see all the tail beasts in you. No, that's the strongest. But Tachi has his own, and Shisui. So they recommend it and go give the head roll. And the next day, Naruto. Where she learned that the tail beast. The 3 tails. The 4 tails. The 5 tails. The 6 tail. Not the 6. I think it's, Shisui has the 6 tails. Yep. Then he still the 7 tails. The 3 tails, 2 tails, and the 1 tails, all into Naruto. Naruto is the strongest Jinchuriki. He's the Jinchuriki of all of them. He is the legend. And Naruto now has mastered the Rinnegan fully, and has the Rinnegan in one eye and the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in one eye. And Naruto makes a public announcement saying that he will make sure that nobody harms this village ever, and tells that he gave back is a Thunder Kage and will be the strongest. He has every jutsu, and I will protect you all. In Naruto's village is really no crime. The only crimes are petty little thieves stealing about $1, and they all know the consequences for that in Naruto's village. It's not death. Naruto just tells them, stop stealing, please. But then Naruto set up a shinobi guard for the police force. And many Uchiha have moved to his village. They have and Hyugas have moved to his village too. Uzumaki's Senju, the Senju clan has started to thrive again. With Naruto, Totsunade, and the rest of the Senju clan. We need to thrive again, and new children started popping out of nowhere. Soon it was over 100 Senjus. The clan, and then it started thriving. 400, 600, 1,000. It was over the 1,000 Senjus in this world now. And then they were super strong shinobi. And then their Chihas have really thrived with over 500,000 members. Now a lot has chosen to be shinobi. 500,000 shinobi. Out of 500,000, 300,000 of them are Uchihas. Naturally blooded Uchihas. Naruto was not naturally blooded. He has the Tournament Deku Sharingan. The Rinnegan. But Naruto uses his Rinnegan and teleport one time. Naruto is so strong that he has no worries. And then Naruto. And then we go to another, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 7-year time skip to when he is a 24-year-old Thunder Kage. He tells the village he's having a child named Boruto. The whole village, he announces it publicly and says that he will be sealing one of his killed beasts inside of him. And they know what that means. That means that child will be real as strong as one of them, probably be way stronger. And he tells everybody that he has collected Sharingan for him to have the Tournament Mangekyo Sharingan when he's born. Nothing less from his child that they wouldn't expect. So they just go ahead with it with Sasuke. And then Sasuke is an adult now too. Sasuke comes to his village and says, You're a wonder. And he tells Naruto that it's amazing how you made a village on your own. And then he says, okay. But his father's getting old. He says he's picking a new Kage. A brand new Kage. As he's been in office for a long time, and he's getting bored, and would like to move to his son's village. And Naruto says, okay, let's, and then Naruto retires, and the next Hokage is none other than Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi's in office, with his Sharingan, his Mangekyo Sharingan. He never got the Eternal yet, but his eyes, he says he's getting blind, and he gives Eternal Mangekyo. Naruto gives him one of his extra Sharingan and gives him Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. But the Uchihas actually agreed to this waiver where Uchihas will give up their eyes when they die. But they say it's okay because they're already dead. By then they would have no use for them. And all the Uchihas agreed to that. Because they weren't taking them while they were alive, so Naruto was a fair Kage. And then Naruto tells all. One thing else, that he will be sealing the One Tails into his son. No, I'll seal the One Tails with the least amount of chakra of all the tail beasts into him, just so he'll be fine. But Gaara, I don't like that, so I'll seal higher ranked tail beasts like the 6 tail. Then you have Acid, the 5 tails. Sounds beautiful. The 4 tails sounds good. Son Goku sounds perfect. I'll seal the Son Goku into my son. And then 9 months later, he seals him into something like he said he would. The baby is first born. And Naruto says, okay. And then Naruto goes around. Naruto already has his Tournament Mangekyo Sharingan, and he is very strong. He ended it off with a very strong technique, which Naruto is very strong. And Naruto is not the strongest shinobi in the world. And the EMS God still... No, not the EMS God. The EMS God. They say ever if Naruto became a rogue ninja, his bounty would be over 2 trillion. That's how much they would want him dead if he was alive. If he ever was a rogue ninja, but they all know Naruto will never be a rogue ninja. Then Naruto invented more jutsu that nobody ever heard of. He learned particle style, and he learned the iron sand jutsu. And with him, he learned many more jutsu, and even Kenkai Genkai jutsus, where he knew that he couldn't learn. He said it was a fun. He just didn't really care, because he knew he was too overpowered anyway. Unless it was a really cool Kenkai Genkai like the Sharingan, he didn't really care. Then Hinata, back home, was carrying the baby, who was watching the baby, with knowing that was Sharingan in her son's eyes. knowing that it was a tournament Gekio that will never go away, knowing that it was Naruto who played in there. She didn't really care. But Naruto told Naruto that she wants another child, a girl, and Naruto agrees, but he said in a couple years, so they have a pretty good age difference. Hinata agrees with that. Then, and Hinata says, no, I changed my mind, and says that I'd rather have them pretty close in age so she won't feel alone. And then Naruto says, okay. And then Naruto sees that somebody has reincarnated Madara Uchiha. Now I won't say Madara Uchiha, because Madara will get wiped out in this storyline easily. The Otsutsuki's came multiple. When the Otsutsuki started fighting, Jugen started fighting Naruto. Jugen, they started fighting. Naruto uses his he started fighting and says, you're way stronger than normal people. A normal shinobi would be beyond even a Kage, not the Thunder Kage. The Naruto with his the EMS God is fighting. It gets out pretty quick that the EMS God's fighting, and people start showing up around Naruto and watching the fight, and then Itachi uses and puts a barrier around it so they can watch without getting hurt. And then and then he starts fighting. Then when Naruto goes Chroma Link mode, Naruto says, it's time. Susanoo! Down beast! Then the Nine Tails appears with a cover with Susanoo and charges up a Tail Beast Ball. Naruto says it's the end for you now. And then Naruto says it's Otsutsuki, one of them, way weaker, a demigod level. Otsutsuki says, are you sure? And then the Tail Beast Ball hits them. Hits the Otsutsuki and then dies in an instant. Knowing that was a very strong Otsutsuki, Naruto says, what the hell was that? That creature. I'll call them Otsutsukis, because that was the word he said. He said, my species are Otsutsuki, so I'm guessing they're Otsutsukis. And then they said, 2 more will come in about a couple months. Naruto says, it's all going to be okay. I will train for this, and I will defeat them easily. I'm beyond all of you fools, so don't worry about it. But the fact that Naruto had to use this Susanoo beast, that shows how strong the Otsutsuki was. But Naruto does try to end the fight quick so nobody will get hurt. And the crowd was pretty big too. Naruto, they said, can't wait for the next fight. It's the Otsutsuki. Knowing that is very entertaining watching Naruto fight, where he's the Thunder Kage, and they never seen him really fight at all. Knowing that these creatures actually made him try a little bit. It was very, very exciting for the villagers. That's interesting. And then out of nowhere, another Otsutsuki comes out of nowhere, and he says, my name is Jugen, and I'm one of the strongest Otsutsukis ever. I'm a high Otsutsuki level. And they start fighting. He's in a god level tier, but the EMS god is stronger than a high Otsutsuki. He uses one, and he goes sage mode, and a barrier Itachi comes and says, do you sure you don't need help? And Naruto agrees and says he doesn't need help. But then Naruto uses his strong Naruto summons all the tail beasts shielding him. 8 of the tail beasts that are shielding him. All 8 of them. Covers him with Susanoo. And then says, Tail Beast Ball! Chidori! And they all go around. And then somebody gets chair a state build and somebody uses the jutsu to make a stadium around the barrier. Somebody, and then they have to start sitting down, and then people start showing up around watching the Thunder Kage do his job. They knew he was strong, but not this strong. Nobody ever seen him go all out. Even Naruto never went all out. And then Naruto still hasn't need to go all out all his life, so. And Naruto uses his final move. Not his final move. Naruto never had to use his trunk card. His trunk card is using 100% in his base mode. It's enough to almost 1,000 times more than a chakra from a tailed beast, so he never goes 100% ever. He only stays at about 1%. And then even in this fight, he only needed to use about 0.2% of his power just to block a couple hits. Then Naruto says 1%. Oh, this is getting interesting. 1% of Naruto. Naruto, without eating any of the tailed beast's chakra, Naruto ends it. He says, Giant Mega Giant Rasengan. The Akatsuki Jugen is still got hit, but not dead yet. He still has a fighting. And then Naruto goes Susanoo himself with all the tailed beast Susanoo too, covered with Susanoo. Then they start fighting, and the tailed beast is combined with all the tailed beast, and they use it and say, "Time for it now!" Shadow Clone Jutsu. $200 Shadow Clones. Don't play with me. I am Naruto. Hold on the bands. I make more money. Oh, and Naruto starts going crazy with his Shadow Clones. But all of them have 50% of all his true power. And he told them all to use the same amount of power he is. And he said okay. They all said okay. But then Akatsuki's getting overwhelmed from all the power. All these we were saying all inside him. And the Akatsuki Jugen is dead in an instant. They just keep going at him just to make sure every piece of him is dead and he can't regenerate or nothing. No superpowers like that. Keeps going crazy on him. They knew he was strong, but they didn't know he was this strong. But then they ended it in an instant. They were that strong. Nobody ever knew that. They knew he was strong. They're never this strong. Naruto tells them to end it. It's the strongest jutsu. One of his more stronger jutsu. He uses Tail Beast Shuriken. And the Shuriken has way more power than a normal tail Rasengan. Which he knew that Akatsuki was a way weaker Akatsuki. A weaker Akatsuki, and knowing that, okay, there, 1 month later, time skip, Bluer tells a month old, and getting out of back home, knowing that today's the day that the man said that Akatsuki will appear. He wasn't a liar. they appeared right in front of Naruto and said, yeah, I didn't think Jugen would die for my human. Ever. I remember. But I didn't know he was this weak. Then the Otsutsuki started punching Naruto. And then Naruto had to use Tail Beast Shuriken. The Otsutsuki was killed instantly. The other Otsutsuki said, what? He killed him in an instant. And he was about 20% of my power. All my power. And he killed him in an instant. And he was at 100% when he died. Dang it. And then Naruto says, you sure about this? Naruto uses 10% of all his chakra in this attack. Tail Beast Giant Mega Super Rasengan with a uses short wind style, and lightning style and fire style. Wood style, lightning style, wood style, fire style, water style, wood style, particle style, and the Rasengan hits Otsutsuki with no problem, destroying the Otsutsuki in an instant. The Otsutsuki loses. I got Naruto won the fight fair and square. And Naruto knows that he won. And Otsutsuki is buried alive, hanging on by just a touch. With Naruto helping him to live. For his last words, he's gonna say to him, and Naruto's gonna let him die. He says, your last. You will have fun in heaven, but don't ever forget Satsuki. All the rest of your clan. Tell me if there's any more. The only other one who's stronger than me is our mother, and that are living in the healing jutsu. But I'll be right back. Yeah. Yes. What's that? Little one. Like the round one. Good night, though. Now like the frying pan, like the deep one. Okay, get off the game and clean up.
Battle begins.
Taking this. Eat this.